once the hunter zooms in, we can see there's a hulking figure on one of the mountain ridges. It's visible even from this distance.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 creepiest paranormal mysteries of all time.
And as I stand up, I see it. There she is, across this radio, one leg in the air, and her head hanging down.
Number 10. Franklin Castle.
We're here to try to document all the stories that have been talked about.
Also known as the most haunted house in Ohio, Franklin Castle in Cleveland has a history steeped in tragedy and rumors of violence. It was built in the late 19th century by German immigrant Hans Tiedemann, and during their stay, his wife and several of their children passed away.
This really is like a real-life haunted castle.
After the Tiedemanns, a few decades later, it was purchased by the Romano family. It was shortly after this that strange occurrences were reported, such as phantom organ music and flickering lights, as well as the sounds of babies crying and a woman in black appearing on the main stairway. Stories of secret passageways and hidden rooms started circulating, and in the 70s, human remains were discovered inside the castle walls on the second floor. Number 9. The Enfield Poltergeist.
How does it feel to be haunted by a poltergeist?
In the late 1970s, a council house in Enfield, England, experienced intense paranormal activity. The Hodgson family, consisting of a single mother and her 4 children, reported a series of terrifying events, such as furniture moving, objects flung across rooms, and unexplained knocking sounds.
But to create all the bizarre effects that went on in this house, either involves a gigantic conspiracy with the neighbors or a disruption in our laws of mind and matter.
The phenomena centered on the 2 sisters, Janet and Margaret, with one or both reportedly full-on levitating and speaking in a gruff, disembodied voice. Investigated by members of the Society for Psychical Research, some of it is considered a hoax by many, but a police officer and other investigators claim to have witnessed some of the unexplained phenomena firsthand. The Conjuring 2 is also based on the real-life investigation of this case by Ed and Lorraine Warren. Number 8. Havana Syndrome.
All of a sudden, I felt like I was being struck with something. And it was an overwhelming sense of anxiety, pressure, completely inexplicable, and then pain that I have never felt before in my life.
In 2016, US and Canadian government personnel stationed in Havana, Cuba, and other locations started reporting a series of odd health incidents. They experienced a range of symptoms, following a strange, localized sound described as a high-pitched screech or clicking noise.
These individuals appear to have sustained injury to widespread brain networks without an associated history of head trauma. What we can't understand is why these people's brains look like that when they have no history of anything hitting them in the head.
The symptoms included sudden headaches, nausea, vertigo, and cognitive difficulties, with some of them suffering long-term health effects like hearing loss and balance issues. Theories as to what this could be range from sonic attacks to mass psychogenetic illness. But to this day, no one knows the exact cause, and some have even tried to explain it as paranormal.
Try to stop it before it hurts anyone else.
Number 7. The Lost Colony of Roanoke. In the year of 1587, a group of English colonists led by John White established a settlement on Roanoke Island, located in what is now North Carolina. The colony was struggling, and White returned to England for more supplies. Due to the ongoing war with Spain, John was unable to return to the colony for 3 years. By the time he made it back in 1590, the entire settlement had vanished.
But Governor White doesn't return to his family. He returns to a mystery.
They're gone. The entire colony is just gone.
There were no signs of a struggle or battle. The only clues left behind were the word Croatoan carved into a fort post and crow etched into a nearby tree.
It's covered in strange inscriptions that appear to be Old English.
To this day, historians are still baffled about what could have happened. Did they assimilate with a native tribe, or was it supernatural?
What's weird is that there's basically nothing left behind, and the town isn't so much abandoned, it's been dismantled.
Number 6. Where are the Sodder children?
4,000 miles away in Fayetteville, West Virginia, a family's first Christmas in 6 years without the doom and gloom of a world war, would also go up in flames and kindle the origins of one of the most mysterious disappearances in U.S. history.
On Christmas Eve in 1945, the Sodder family home in Fayetteville, West Virginia, was destroyed by a fire. The parents and 4 of their children escaped, but 5 children were unaccounted for.
4 of the 10 Sodder children survived. 1 was abroad after the war, and the other 5 vanished the night of the incident. None of their remains were discovered in the aftermath of the devastating fire.
Even after a thorough search of the site, no human remains were ever found. The family was convinced the children survived and had been kidnapped.
So the Sodder children didn't wander off, and it seems like they didn't die in the fire either. This leaves one other possibility, but it's unthinkable. It's insane. Ginny and George both know it, and yet they can't bring themselves to believe any other explanation than this. That fire was nothing but a distraction, a cover for the real crime that took place that night. Kidnapping.
They pointed to a number of weird things that night, like an oddly malfunctioning phone line, a frozen water barrel, and 2 trucks that wouldn't start. The Sodders kept the mystery alive for decades by way of a billboard with photos of their missing children and pursuing leads. Number 5. The Mothman. In 1966 and 1967, the town of Point Pleasant in West Virginia was gripped by a series of strange events. People allegedly saw a large, winged humanoid creature with glowing red eyes.
They claim to have seen a large winged creature, 6 to 7 foot tall, gray in color, and 2 large red eyes.
The creature, dubbed the Mothman, was first seen in the vicinity of a former World War II munitions plant. The sightings were sometimes accompanied by strange phenomena such as UFO reports and Men in Black sightings.
Mary Heyer was visited by Men in Black who told her to stop writing about the Mothman and all these strange encounters. Stop writing about this. You don't want to be involved in this.
After the catastrophic collapse of the Silver Bridge in 1967, people believed that the Mothman was a supernatural warning of the impending disaster. Were those reports simply misidentified wildlife, or is this infamous cryptid real?
The legend of the Mothman was born.
Number 4. Dog Calling Bridge.
I started shouting to David, "Sophie's jumped off the bridge, she's jumped off the bridge." It just happened so fast, seconds.
Since the 1950s, a weird and deadly phenomenon has become infamous in Dumbarton, Scotland. Overtoun Bridge has seen, according to some sources, hundreds of dogs inexplicably jump off and suffer injuries, and even death.
According to some reports, over 50 dogs in 50 years have jumped from the side of the Overtoun Bridge. Could the answer lie in the location itself? Is there something compelling these dogs to jump?
While they are in most cases on leashes, the dogs suddenly become aggressive or seemingly fixated on something down below. A number of paranormal theories have been suggested as the cause of this, with them ranging from Celtic mythology to the local belief that the bridge and Overtoun house is haunted by the ghost of Lady Overtoun, also known as the White Lady of Overtoun. No definitive evidence has been found yet.
But this doesn't explain what's driving the dogs to jump in the first place. What are they looking for?
Number 3. Bigfoot. Bigfoot is reputed to be a large, hairy, ape-looking creature who's become a cornerstone of cryptozoology and American folklore.
When suddenly something strange appears, a hairy humanoid crossing their path nonchalantly, Chuck stops cold in his tracks.
Eyewitness accounts of Bigfoot, sometimes referred to as Sasquatch, have persisted for centuries, with hundreds of alleged sightings across America. And yet, no indisputable physical evidence has ever been found. No bodies, bones, or definitive remains of Bigfoot have ever been found.
Freeman shoots this video showing what he claims is a Bigfoot ambling through the woods.
The existence of the creature rests almost entirely on anecdotal evidence, blurry photographs, and grainy film footage, not to mention numerous hoaxes dating all the way back to the 1950s. With that said, Bigfoot sightings continue to be reported regularly across North America to this day. What do you think?
It's not easy to see, but we can trace the outline of something sitting there through the trees. But Doug said the creature was doing much more before he started recording.
Number 2. Flannan Isles Lighthouse. Off the coast of Scotland in December 1900, a supply ship arrived at the Flannan Isles Lighthouse to find a scene of eerie abandonment.
More than 120 years ago, 3 men suddenly disappeared without a trace from a lighthouse situated on a tiny speck of an island, never to be seen again.
The lighthouse keepers, Thomas Marshall, James Ducat, and Donald MacArthur, had disappeared without a trace. Beds were unmade, and 2 raincoats were missing, suggesting they might have rushed out in a storm.
It seemed unlikely that these usually reliable men would suddenly up and leave, causing their loved ones to worry and grieve.
But here's where it gets a bit weird. Some claim that the logbooks made no mention of severe weather, and the final entry was a cryptic note about a storm the keepers had never seen before, as well as a reference to them praying. An official investigation concluded that the men were swept away by a wave, but there were no signs of a struggle, and no bodies were ever found.
There would be no closure for their loved ones, only heartbreak and confusion. The lighthouse itself remained manned and without further incident up until 1971, when it became fully automated. It is still in operation to this day, and the Isles are now only visited occasionally for maintenance purposes.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. The Bell Witch Haunting. The Bell Witch Haunting is one of the most famous cases of alleged paranormal activity in American history.
This week, we pay a visit to a small town in Tennessee, which was plagued by a spirit so vengeful that it was the first in US history to receive blame for an actual recorded death.
It all started in 1817, when the Bell family of Adams, Tennessee, reported being tormented by an invisible entity. Apparently, John Bell had seen and fired at a creature resembling a dog with the head of a rabbit. It all went downhill from there.
It had to be something very powerful to do what it did, but it never led on to what it actually was. They didn't understand why it was coming after our family. And when it was asked about why it was coming after the Bell family, or after John, the spirit said he just needs killing.
A disembodied voice tormented them. There were strange noises, physical attacks, it even slapped and pinched the children. The entity, or the witch, even claimed it would kill John, who did eventually pass away. A vial of mysterious black liquid was found in the house. Was John poisoned, or were the Bells really haunted?
Speculation as to who poisoned Bell was rife, and when it was suggested that Lucy may have been responsible, Kate's disembodied voice apparently spoke up, replying, "I fixed his medicine last night and gave him a big dose of it. He'll never get out of that bed again."
Which haunting scared you the most? Tell us below.
The young couple's harrowing account was picked up by the local press and incited panic across town.